Welcome back to Court TV Live. Busy Wednesday here, keeping our eye on several courtrooms around the country. In Nashville, Tennessee, closing arguments underway in the Blaise Taylor murder trial. The former college football star and NFL scout is facing double murder charges in the deaths of his girlfriend, Jade Benning, and her unborn child. We'll take you back into the courtroom for more of the defense close in just a moment. In Los Angeles, Frazier Baum is expected in court today in Van Nuys, California. Baum facing murder and vehicular manslaughter for killing 4 Pepperdine sorority sisters in a 2023 car crash on the Pacific Coast Highway that just getting underway. In Massachusetts, Karen Reed has another hearing today in the civil cases filed over the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe. And according to the Boston Globe, the judge is upset, concerned. And that's why he called today for everybody to be there in person, because private information about State Trooper Michael Proctor being leaked to the public. We'll keep an eye on that as well. But now, Blaise Taylor and the closing arguments in Nashville, Tennessee. Let's go back into the courtroom and pick up the defense close where we left off last hour.
Serious talk for us, sorry. He says, but we don't got to be super serious. I just didn't want to sell false dreams because, yeah, it would be great if you could come on my work trips. But I just feel like it's not realistic from a financial or just a feasible ability to randomly catch a flight and get away for a weekend. We're young. Money's already tight. We can't just spend money on getaway trips on the weekend, and this baby is coming. And I could lie to you, or I can keep it real with you. Blaise wouldn't have been able to win here. It didn't matter. If he would have sold her a dream and lied to her on here, they would have been telling you that. But now he's keeping it real with her, being honest with her, and now that's wrong too. Would you rather him lie? The man was trying to be honest. The man was trying to be responsible. And somehow, that's wrong too. It's no big deal. I know you wasn't meaning it that way, but I just didn't want to be like, oh yeah, I'll bring you on the next one, next year, knowing that it's probably a lie. She says, totally understand, babes. It's not like it can never happen because I'm having a baby, but realistic, it wouldn't be able to on the fly. Planning out things will always be an option. Life doesn't just stop because of it though. Laugh out loud, we're still going to have one, just living different. He says, I hear you, but you can't minimize how much things are going to change for you. You've got to be realistic that things are about to be hella different for you and will change drastically. Your day-to-day life is not going to be the same. Yeah, life goes on, but it's forever altered and changed in a drastic way. I'm not saying it's over or anything, but it worries me sometimes when you downplay it and act like it's no big deal. And I know you always want to be super optimistic and stuff, but I feel like you need to be honest with yourself about the situation and know what's down the road for you. Now let's back up with that. He says, it worries me sometimes when you downplay it. That means there's something that has gone on in the past that has caused him, with the woman who is potentially going to be the mother of his child, to start having serious conversations with her. Hey man, let's plan this thing out. Start thinking right. So there's something going on there that made him feel like he should have this conversation with her. If that's going to be the mother of his child, what's wrong with that? In fact, that might be good. And then he says, I just want to make sure you understand the gravity of the situation And you're preparing for those realities. That's all. She says, I'm not trying to minimize things, and sometimes I can be super optimistic. She's admitting to it, about things which can be scary. But I do sit and process that there will be drastic life changes and prepare myself for the tough realities as much as I can that are to come. I'm not just trying to make it seem like everything is going to be all peaches and cream. I am hearing and understanding everything you are saying. He liked it, and then he says, hey, what time are you going to work? She says around 3. So she wasn't upset about the conversation. And if you remember, Mr. Devlin, when he was testifying about some of the text messages between them, do you remember when she said that it turned her on when he talked serious with her? That's what this is. That came out of her mouth. It turns me on when you talk serious to me. Some people like to date people and be with people that motivate them to be their best. People who hold their feet to the fire. Iron sharpens iron. And I always say, I never want to be the smartest person in the room, because how can I get better? So when you're attracted to people who are responsible, and that's who you attach yourself with, you're hoping that it makes you a better person. All of our parents have told us, watch your friends. Watch who you hang out with. Look at the 5 closest people in your life, and you'll see your future. So she wouldn't have said that she's turned on by having serious conversations with him if she wasn't. And so that was the nature of that conversation. Now, there was so much talk about how Blaise just totally disregarded the baby, totally disregarded her pregnancy, as if he was just pushing her off to the side, waiting for the perfect moment to kill her and the child. Because if you notice the tone of that text message conversation, it was talking about the future. Why talk about the future if your plan is to kill her anyway? You wouldn't even have to have those conversations. You could just continue to make her feel peachy and creamy. You don't make plans, and you don't try to help the person become more realistic about what it takes to be a mother if it's not your intention for her to be a mother. That doesn't even make sense. So I wanted to show you a few things, because we didn't get to show you everything in the phone, because if you remember when I asked Mr. Devlin, was there a whole lot more in there? He says, yes, we only provided a sample. So some of those text messages were, Blaise told me last night he signed up for monthly subscriptions of diapers from this company, Kudos, LOL. Why would he do that if it was his intention to kill the child? Didn't you ever state at occasion you knew that he and Miss Benning talked about naming the baby Jim? Do you remember when I asked Nigella Jackson that? And she says, yes. I said, well, that would be involved with the baby, wouldn't it? She says, I mean, yeah. Because remember, her name is Jade, his name is Blaise, and so they were going to name the baby Jim. That's being involved. It may not have been to the level that she would have wanted it, and I guarantee you yet again, if we're talking about real life, there's a whole lot of women out there who would love for their significant others to be a little bit more involved with the child. I certainly know that I would. Here, does Blaise rub your belly? LOL. Sometimes. If he's planning names, buying diaper subscriptions, and rubbing her belly, then what we're really talking about is that he wasn't doing it on the level that maybe she wanted it. It wasn't that he wasn't doing it at all. Let's go now to the day in question, because we know how they met, we know how they dated, we know what the understanding was, we know they both considered abortion at one time, one changed their mind quicker than the other, they got back together, they're having realistic conversations, and remember I told you about before, during, and after. Because no one saw Blaise put cocaine in Jade's drink. Nobody saw that. That's undisputed. Nobody saw Blaise give her alcohol. And we're going to talk about that a little later. Nobody saw that. So what that means is this is a circumstantial case. And in order for you to come to a conclusion that is proper in a circumstantial case, because those are the most dangerous ones, because nobody sees what happened, you have to consider all the surrounding circumstances. Most of the time, the crime is in the cleanup, and I'm sure you've heard that before. So you have your before bucket, your during bucket, and your after. What we do know, and like I said, I'm not doing this to shame anyone, because if I was, I would have a ton of text messages up there about drugs and all kinds of stuff, but I'm not doing that. The only reason I'm sharing this information with you is so that you can have the facts as they really are. So when we talk about before, there was only one person involved with drugs, and it wasn't Blaise. You didn't hear any evidence of Blaise purchasing cocaine, smoking weed, doing mushrooms, getting drunk, drinking alcohol. In fact, it was the exact opposite. The evidence you heard is that Blaise does not drink and does not do drugs. However, what you did hear is that Jade does drink to the point that she gets drunk, and she does drugs. So that's before. Remember, this is circumstantial, so you consider all the facts surrounding it. Jade invites Blaise over. This is important because Blaise didn't know that Jade was going to invite him over that day. He had just seen her the day before. Remember, they had gone to the Waffle House. So there were 2 days before that he was with her, that he could have pulled off the elaborate plan, but he didn't. And so spontaneously, she invites him over again. This is the 3rd day in a row now. And so you see here, also, will you be free around 7 o'clock? Yeah, I fell asleep watching Outer Banks, then woke up to gun firing on the show. But yeah, I should be. LMAO, woke up confused, ASF. Okay, I'll have plans for us. You can come dressed, comfy to my house. Okay, sounds good. Sweet, I am getting off now, she says. And that is at 3:50. And he says, how was work? So now this spontaneous plan is 3:50. He has 3 hours to cook up the elaborate plan to kill her. Because remember, he didn't know she was going to ask him to come over that day. So he comes over. When he comes over, it's 7 o'clock, he's there, and then Nigella and Keontae shows up. He didn't know that, right? Now, if all the while it was his plan to kill her that night, you would think that once Keontae and Najee showed up, if he had any kind of sense, he'll abort the plan. But no, he's brazen. Even though her best friend came over, saw him in the apartment alone with her, almost 6 months pregnant, 25 weeks, I believe the autopsy said, he decides, I'm going to go ahead with the plan and kill her anyway.
All right, compelling defense closing argument, both sides with one last chance to sway this jury before they get the case and start to deliberate the fate of Blaise Taylor. Sonny Slaughter's watching along. Where do you land on all of this?
Hi, Ted. Good to see you. So I heard the prosecution. I thought she was overly emotional, but when you don't have the right evidence, then you have to bring the emotion in it. I heard some of the things that she said, and I was like, that's not what they said during testimony. So I think she did what she needed to do. I'm not saying she's not a cheater. I'm just saying I think she has gone over the top. And in this, now listening to the defense, I think the defense has brought out some very significant points. I didn't like what she just said, that he only had 3 hours. I mean, because he could have planned something in 3 hours. So I just think this case is going to land where it's going to land. But I do want people to focus on the fact that Jade wanted something more from Blaise than he wanted to give her. She wanted the relationship. He was trying to be focused and realistic, and she was not realistic. She was going to have this baby. We still haven't determined if it was his baby. And there are 2 other people, which is the reason why, if she was so happy, she didn't post not one thing on social media. And that was to keep down any confusion about who the father could be, because there were 3 different people. Now, folks might want to say this is victim blaming, but this is facts and evidence. This is the truth. This is the reality of it. This was going to be her baby.
You don't think that she intentionally took her own life with some overdose of cocaine?
Nope, I don't think that she took her own life. But what I do think is that she had access, that she was a culinary chef that that created foods that was drug infused. I think that there was an opportunity that was totally missed by law enforcement, that there is no evidence to say just because he was the last person with her that he decided to do this. Now, does he have a pattern because he made a statement previously? I think that is more of evidence towards him than anything else that I've seen thus far. Because they haven't found the drugs, they haven't found the stuff. He was standing outside of the apartment talking to EMS because he did not know exactly how to show them how to get there. But the best friend had that information when she talked to Jade the first time, and she was the ear witness, and she could have sent 911 and EMS there, and she did not.
All right, this is a great case. Let's get a break. When we come back, we'll head back to Nashville, Tennessee for more of the defense. Closing argument. This is their last opportunity to get to jurors before they start to deliberate the fate of Blaise Taylor. Stay with us.